My name is Jonathan, and I want to take the time to talk about two supports that we as educators can use in the classroom to help our at-risk learners that are EL students, as well as students who have a 504 plan or IEP plan. Now, the first support that I want to talk about with helping at-risk learners, such as our EL students, is assistive technologies. Now, we can use assistive technologies to help our students to break down that barrier of having to come up with words or read and then form in their mind how can they write and put these words on paper. Now, what assistive technology allows a student to do is two things. It can be a speech to text or a text to speech, and whichever method our student needs, this assisted technology levels the playing field. It allows our students to work independently. No longer do they need a scribe or an individual in the classroom or the educator to take time from educating the rest of the class and focus just on the student to help them pen the words that they have in their brain onto paper. These assistive technologies allow the student to do that themselves. It's really great to help our at-risk learners and students that are EL or English language learners in our classroom. This can also be used to help our students with an IEP or a 504 plan. Well, how so? Well, this technology, assistive technology, can be used as an accommodation for our students. Now, each IEP and 504 plan differs, but based on our students' needs, an accommodation can be made so that way it can help the student to access the standard or the content that the student needs help with in our class. Now, it won't modify or change the standard in how we teach it, but it will accommodate the student and able to be up to par and help them learn. Now, the second support that I want to talk about is differentiated instruction. Now, this is so critical, and I want to focus on the three aspects of differentiated instruction. The first aspect or criteria is content, and that is the knowledge and skills the student needs to master. The second is the process, the activities students use to master the content. And third, the product, the method students use to demonstrate learning. So we have content, process, and product. Now, how can differentiated instruction help our students who are English language learners? Well, we can use differentiated instruction to promote an environment that highlights the learning differences of our students. It doesn't make them so that all the students have to be the same, but it brings out the value and the uniqueness of each of our students' method and way that they learn. Differentiated instruction also plays a factor in how we set up our classroom. Our classroom will not be just rows. It might be two tables side by side or a group of four. Depending on how we set up our classroom, it will have to do with how differentiated our instruction is for our students. And as such, that ties in with how we can use differentiated instruction with our students that have a 504 plan or an IEP. An IEP or 504 plan requires specialized instruction for our students. The instruction must differ from that of their peers. And why is that? Well, a student with a 504 plan or IEP needs a tailored instructional approach to the way that they're taught, because they might have a learning disability or they might have a cognitive deficit that they need to overcome, and they are able to overcome that in the classroom by having accommodations and modifications presented to them in the classroom. Now, this support of differentiated instruction can be used as an accommodation for the students, as previously mentioned. So what differentiated instruction allows us to do for students that have a 504 or an IEP is it allows the teacher to personalize their teaching to assist the students' personal goals and objectives outlined in their IEP and 504 plan. So again, to recap, the first method is by using Assistive Technology. Now, that is the first support that we can use in our class to help our EL students that might be at-risk learners and our students that have an IEP or a 504 plan or both. Now, the second support again was using differentiated instruction. And I highlighted how we can use this to help our at-risk students, our students that are EL, English language learners, as well as our students that have an IEP, a 504 plan, or possibly both. So I hope this helps you. There's a lot of supports that we can use in our classroom, and again, this is just two, using assistive technology and using differentiated instruction. Thank you for taking the time to listen. I'll see you next time.